by Leo Clark. The Great Tram Race. Please come to our transport conference. Inspector Sue posted the last of Sam's invitations to his cousins and friends all over the world. He wanted to prove that together cars, trains and trams could forge a better future for the passengers and also win the race to save the environment. A great noise came from outside. Clang, 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 louder and louder. Clang, 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 clang. If Turbo and Monique don't stop their bickering and rivalry, we'll never keep the conference on track, said Sam, rolling his eyes. They are so hot-wired that they drain the power and make the other trams late. They have no respect for the passengers. They think they are the stars. Turbo and Monique swept into the depot, arguing furiously. Monique, you're a fake. You're just too slow. I am not, Turbo. You're the slow one. Well, let's have a race. We'll soon see who the real tram is, challenged Turbo. He didn't even wait for an answer before he was at it again. No, Monique, you won't race, will you? He barked. What sort of tram are you? You're no tram. You're just a yellow-bellied green slug. All right. We'll race, Monique declared. It was on. And the winner wouldn't have to carry passengers anymore. Sam tried to intervene. Turbo and Monique, he said, please forget the race. As trams, you're both equal. Neither of you can win. Just make up and let it all blow over. Please don't ruin the transport conference. Turbo snorted. Conferences are too boring for us. Turbo and Monique mounted a massive publicity campaign which talked of nothing but speed, records, and revenge. The people were excited by the prospect of a grudge match and soon forgot Sam's transport conference. Sam tried again. We'll be the laughing stock of the world. How can we persuade our visitors that we're setting an example for cars if you're just as revved up as they are? They are. Turbo and Monique didn't listen. They were already hanging Great Tram Race signs over the conference banners. And, they boasted, because we're in it, we've called it the Great Tram Race. Turbo and Monique were sure that they would be filled with happiness as they became famous, but the passengers were furious seeing them rush by with signs which said, "No passengers today, race practice." Meanwhile, Sam sent tramograms all over the world. Conference postponed until further notice, regretfully, Sam. But the guests were already on their way. When they saw how much interest the publicity campaign was stirring up, Turbo and Monique started to have second thoughts. They both crept away to think. Turbo, Monique said, we're both fools and nasty ones at that. If we run this race, we'll ruin Sam's conference. And what's more, she added, without my passengers, I feel empty. It's almost like my heart has gone. Even Turbo felt the same, but he couldn't think of what to do. At last, the plucky pair found a solution. Since people are so interested, why not stage the race as an opening celebration for the conference? And they both planned a surprise finish that would save Sam's conference. It was their secret. Terry and Tricia the Tubes arrived from London. Sunny and Harriet the subway trains swept in from New York, alongside the metros from Paris. They all gathered in anticipation. But their excitement turned to sadness when they found that the huge crowds of people were gathering not for the conference, but for a Great Tram Race. Inspector Sue fired the starting pistol. They were off and away. Turbo pulled out fast, and Monique paced along. They picked up speed and rattled across the first intersection. What a begin. The two Goliaths hurtled pell-mell through the streets, now Turbo leading, now Monique. As they goaded each other on, the other trams and the trains were horrified, but the people were wrapped in excitement. Monique raced and raced with delight, but she was also worried. Will Turbo follow the plan, or is he racing to win? He certainly seemed intent on winning, even though Monique led by a trolley's length. Monique rushed on, determined to reach the line first to ensure the plan was carried out. Suddenly, to Monique's dismay, Turbo drained all the power from the overhead wires. She was slowed right down, and Turbo shot past. So he was racing to win. They came to the home stretch. Turbo was ahead with only meters to go. He was set to win. Everybody drew breath. Monique was terrified. The scorch of burning electricity and emotion hung in the air. With only seconds to go, Turbo stopped drawing electricity. The surge of power thrust Monique across the line, neck and neck with Turbo. It was a draw. Turbo explained to the confused crowd and to Sam. Our secret plan was for neither of us to win, but to draw instead. Sam replied, Turbo and Monique, you are both winners now. What an opening celebration. And the people began to understand. Monique spoke for both of them. I hope that our race has shown everyone how even rival trams like us can learn to cooperate. All of us, trams, trains, and cars, together hope that people will join the conference and make it a great success. Then we will win the really important race, the great race to save the environment. The trams, trains, and cars hooted with joy. The crowds of people clapped and cheered the trams. They saw that there are all sorts of races and all sorts of winners. The people were pleased to learn how sensible their friends the trams are, and rushed to be part of the conference. Happily they clambered aboard the trams and trains. At that, Turbo and Monique's hearts swelled. The conference went from success to success. That night the celebrations continued. At the conference dance, Turbo and Monique found a new place for their motors to hum and whir out on the dance floor. There they both sparkled and gleamed in the bright lights of their confidence for the future. Sam said proudly, Turbo and Monique have become stars. But for Turbo and Monique, the passengers are the real stars.